ABC Listen. Podcasts, radio, news, music and more.
Arshdeep Singh is away to Cooper Connolly. Digs it in. He leads. It's called a wide. Nostradamus Lehman calls it. And the Australians win the match. They win the series.
So let me get this straight. Australia can now sweep India in their men's ODI series. The ladies are lining up South Africa at the World Cup. The Kangaroos, they're clashing with England in the Rugby League Ashes at Wembley. The netballers are mixing it with the Kiwis. The Wallabies are taking on old coach Eddie Jones in Japan in Tokyo. Remember Eddie? It's a green and gold weekend, people. We're talking to the new Wallabies skipper. We're doing a cricket debrief, rebrief. Oh, and there's a massive NBA betting scandal to get across. I'm Patrick Stack. This is ABC Sport Daily. Australia's already won its ODI series with India after making it 2-0 in a best-of-3 series. So what can we actually take from the victory in Adelaide in the series so far? Stuart Clark, ex-Australian fast bowler, here to talk about it. Stu, the next 50-over World Cup's in 2027, so it's hard to read too much into these games. But let's do it anyway. Who's gained the most from Australian stocks in the series so far?
Yeah, it's a challenging one because as you sort of noted there, we're not sure who's going to be around in a little while. Stark, Hazelwood, they're really going to get through. But I think a few of the batters, Matt Short, he was pretty good in Adelaide. We've seen, Adam Zampa, I think he got man of the match in the game in Adelaide as well. So he's done really well. Xavier Bartlett sort of burst onto the scene.
India 1 for 17. Bartlett to Kohli, wrapped on the pad. Bartlett with a big shout and the finger goes up.
You're starting to see some new names, the ones that, the Smiths, the Warners, the Coes, that are all moving on to just maybe, test format or the T20 circus. You're seeing these new guys. So they're the ones that are gaining because they're getting exposure. And when you're beating India with Virat and Rowett and Co in tow, people are starting to talk about you.
You mentioned Virat. He is definitely not a new name. This is surely the last time we see him on these shores, given he has retired from the other two formats. He's been poor, really. I mean, how much do you think he's got left to give India?
Far be it for me to criticise Virat Kohli. He's been a star of his generation. Look, he's probably not playing as much cricket. I think that's probably showing at the moment that he's in Australia. He's got limited preparation, and he's got on a bit in years, and he's not 25 anymore. And I think he'd probably be the first to admit that his best cricket may be behind him. Certainly in this form of the game, I think he's still got a lot to offer in T20 cricket and franchise cricket. But look, he hasn't been great this summer. Look, there's still a game to go, but it happens to everyone, mate. The greats of the game. Unfortunately, Father Time, he's never lost a match.
He's undefeated. The Ashes conversation, it's omnipresent right now. Josh Hazlewood's efforts across the first two games. Look, not a heap of wickets, but geez, watching both of those performances, there's so much to like. What struck you as a fellow fast bowler and member of the fast bowlers cartel?
Look, he's just so consistent. He bowls that horrible length, which you feel like it's going to hit the stumps every ball. He bowls close to the stumps. He gets the ball to bounce. He's shown a bit of resilience in recent times. He's played quite a bit of cricket, and he's probably been the one that's been a little bit, hit and miss. Stark seems to play all the time. And, Josh Hazlewood, he's going to be a big weapon for the Australians because we're not sure how much we're going to get of Pat, whether we get any of Pat. But look, Hazlewood and what he bowls, especially with the wickets having a little bit of life in them, he's going to be just a must for Australia, as will Scott Boland, because he's the chief destroyer when he plays in Australia. And between those two plus Mitchell Stark, it's going to be a hard ask for the English.
White ball captain Mitch Marsh has been really clear about his Ashes chances.
I'll be 6 beers deep by lunch on day one, mate.
But people keep asking him anyway. I mean, I don't think anyone expects to see him playing in Perth, like anyone in their right mind. But can you see him having some kind of role this summer in a 5-test series?
I'd say probably in the commentary box, but the point with Mitch is, right, he's playing that well and he's batting that well that people are starting to go, well, maybe we should be considering him, because if you watch him bat in the one-day format, he looks $1 million. He's getting runs at all opportunities. It wasn't that long ago that he was in the test team. So I'm not sure Mitch Marsh is really wants to play Test cricket, or he sort of feels it's past him as well. But all of that said and done, it's amazing, and it shouldn't be, to be fair. When you get runs and you're doing well, people start talking about you. When you get wickets and you're doing well, people start to talk about you. And the game, you'd have to go back to Shield cricket and get a couple of hundreds. Those days don't exist anymore. If you're getting runs in whatever format, people are starting to consider you for other formats. And Mitch is in that boat at the moment.
Steve Singh bowling to Marsh, who rocks back and whacks it over square leg for 6.
Whether he actually plays or not, I think I think every time he's been asked, he's had a bit of a laugh and a joke about it and said probably not. I don't think he'd do a bad job, but I just can't see them picking him. But who knows? Funnier things have happened.
Game 3 of the ODI series with India is in Sydney on Saturday. Can't wait to catch it all on the ABC Listen app and on local radio. Hey, Stu, thanks so much for your time.
Good on you, buddy. Talk soon, eh?
Well, what a year it's been for 29-year-old Nick Champion de Crespigny. Made his Wallabies debut in July. Now he's been named Wallabies captain for the clash with Japan. Nick, congratulations. Can you just tell us about the moment you found out? How did that conversation go down?
Yeah, mate, it's a huge honour and a massive privilege, and I'm absolutely very proud to be able to captain my country. I found out just prior to the team announcement, and it's a massive honour and privilege for me. But first and foremost, it's always an honour to be able to represent Australia at any level.
Moments like this, I think, can be a big opportunity for reflection. Was there someone close to you, either inside or outside the group, who you shared it with, and was there a reaction that you really enjoyed?
I think, it was just prior to sort of the team announcement. So, I was pretty fortunate to be able to have the whole team there with me at the time. And, felt very supported by the whole group and the staff. And, there's lots of guys within the group who I'm able to lean on. Some great leaders like Jake Gordon and Andrew Kellaway and also Harry Wilson. So that's very special to share it with them all.
What about the family reaction? Take us through, that must have been a heck of a phone call.
Yeah, it was. It was very special. I think Dad and Mum and, the rest of the family were over the moon, and a few of them will be making the trip over to Japan. So, no, it's been very special.
As I say, you're relatively short into your international career. Did you see this honour coming?
I don't think anyone really sort of sees these sort of things coming. I was just trying to be the best version of myself within the group and, try to assist everyone to be the best version of themselves. So, I was fortunate enough to be within the leadership group and be able to see some amazing leaders sort of lead this group. And, it was a little bit of a surprise at the time, but I think it's a collective effort. We've got guys like Jake Gordon who'll be out on the field with me, Andrew Kellaway. You've got guys who will lead the line out like Jeremy Williams, who's my captain at the Western Force. So, got lots of guys to lean on.
They say that every sort of team is kind of an extension of their captain, and with that sort of idea in mind, what kind of captain do you want to be for this Wallaby side?
Oh, I think first and foremost, just going to be myself, lead through my actions and let my actions do the talking. Yeah, I like to, so proud and honoured to represent Australia and specifically represent this group. So we definitely see that in the way I sort of play, and I think the group plays.
There are no shortages of changes to this team. 13, I think, from the side that took on New Zealand last. Some big names like Akuso Suaalii, Ikitau, Tupou, Jorgensen missing, amongst others. How much is that all about, do you think, managing the squad and their capacity to get through what is going to be such a big spring tour?
Oh, I think you look at the team and the depth in the squad, and it's an awesome group. You've got guys like Angus Bell, who's coming close to 50 caps, Andrew Kellaway, Jake Gordon, Luke Hahn at lock. It's like no shortage of some superstars and some great players within the group. And then you start looking at sort of combinations we're playing. Like I play with Carlo at 7 when we're at the Western Force. And then you've got guys like Nasser and Zane Ongo who play together in the front row, and Hunter and Flukie in the centre. So I think there's a little bit of management, but, it's a great opportunity for all these sort of guys, and it's a real squad focus here.
From a Wallaby fandom point of view, I don't think you can kind of talk about this game without the context of Eddie Jones, and it was really interesting to see him in his official press conference yesterday talking about how much he loves to beat Australia when he's coaching for an opposition side.
Well, I enjoy beating Australia. Coached them against 10 times for England, beat them 9 times. It was enjoyable. Playing against your own country, there's always a certain amount of different feeling involved in it, but it just brings out probably the extreme competitive spirit within yourself. I feel no different this week, so I'm looking forward to the game.
Has that been a focus for this squad, given the context of what happened with Eddie in the 2023 World Cup and everything that came after it?
No, not really. I think we're very internally focused. Like we sort of manage our own destiny there. We just focus on how we can best prepare for the game and execute our sort of game plan on the weekend. And I wasn't part of the group then, so I haven't really heard too much about it this week. I think for us, we're just very focused on how we can be the best.
I think that's really understandable, that answer, and the sort of level of professionalism that you see in international rugby these days. And you quite rightly make the point that a lot of things have changed from a playing front. I think there was somewhere in the vicinity of 10 players in this squad who were involved in that Rugby World Cup that went so poorly. A lot of Australian rugby fans, I reckon, still have a bit of a bitter taste over that episode. Putting the sort of professionalism to one side, is that at all in the team's consciousness?
Well, no, not really. As you sort of said, I think it's a very different group here. I think we're very focused on, being the best Wallaby side we can be. We're so proud to be the Wallabies and represent Australia, and we're just trying to build the best possible performance to show that. And, I honestly would say every week we're just focused on trying to be the best version of ourselves and, to represent Australia.
One player who won't be involved this weekend is Carter Gordon, and he was obviously involved in that last World Cup, a little NRL detour. He's back in the fold. What have you seen from him this week at training to sort of suggest that he can be a real force at number 10 across this spring tour?
Oh, he's an impressive character. You sort of hear about his rise in Australian rugby and his move over to the NRL, and sort of year he's had. It's been quite difficult, but then he's come straight into training and ripped into every single moment. He's tough and he doesn't shy away from the physical side of it, and he's happy to take the line on. So his sort of skills and speed is very impressive.
The Wallabies play Japan just before 5 p.m. Eastern on Saturday. We're excited to see how they go against Eddie Jones and the Brave Blossoms of Japan. Nick, thanks so much for your time. Good luck in your leadership debut.
No worries. Thank you very much, mate.
Have you been following the enormous story out of the NBA? A massive federal investigation into illegal gambling charges has resulted in a head coach, an existing player, and a long-time contact of LeBron James, and more than 30 people in total being arrested. Chauncey Billups is currently coaching the Portland Trail Blazers, is a member of the NBA Hall of Fame. He has been indicted for an alleged part in a scheme to defraud poker players in rigged games that is said to have involved multiple crime families. What about Terry Rozier? Now on the Miami Heat, the 31-year-old is alleged to have taken himself out of a game intentionally back in 2023 while playing for Charlotte so a punter could bet on the subsequent outcome. Nearly $260,000 US was wagered on Rozier in that game by a group of bettors. He played less than 10 minutes. Both Billups and Rozier are fighting the allegations. Both have been stood down from their respective positions. Finally, Damon Jones. He played with LeBron James at Miami before moving with the legend to Cleveland as an assistant coach. He followed LeBron to LA in an unofficial capacity, and according to the indictment, Jones told professional gamblers a prominent player would miss a Lakers game versus Milwaukee, encouraging a big wager against LA. James did not play that game, and there is no suggestion LeBron has done anything wrong, but wow, what a story we have unfolding. Soundbites. Do you ever think dark thoughts about the team you support? This random Jets fan was asked about his side after an NFL loss, and the New York supporter had this to say.
I hate this team. I was born into this, and I'm not going to ever... I'm always a Jets fan, but, I hate this team.
I think we have all had sport fandom moments where those comments felt relatable. Speaking of relatable, how about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander? The reigning NBA MVP and general champ was asked if he ever repeats outfits.
Oh, never. That's impossible. Yeah, nah. Unless it's like going to the grocery store. You wear gray sweats and a black hoodie. But to a game? No, never in my life, no.
You go to the grocery store?
Oh, no, I don't.
From one champ to another, Phil Gore, the Australian just won the World Championships in backyard ultramarathons. What's that? People run a 6.7k loop until they stop. He ran 114 laps in 5 days, 764 Ks.
I'm just tired. I just want to sleep. There's been a lot of times throughout this event where I've been really confused. I was out running on the road by myself and I was like, how did I get here? What am I doing? And, yeah, it's definitely been an adventure, and I'm going to be happy to go and get some proper sleep.
Well played, Phil. Well played. I'm Patrick Stack. This is ABC Sport Daily, produced by our marathon editor, Poppy Penny. Thanks to Netflix, DeAndre McKenzie and the Backyard Ultra channel on YouTube for the extra audio used in this episode.
Discover more great ABC podcasts, live radio and exclusives on the ABC Listen app.